What is going on, folks? Randy here with RTS Mobile Gaming, bringing you another awesome video today. We are playing the Lord of the Rings Rise to War, and in today's video we're doing a snapshot look at this fantastic Grima versus Galadriel report, okay? As you know, Grima is a beautiful commander here in Season 6 Lord of the Rings Rise to War, and Galadriel is no doubt very, very strong as well, so this is a good report. I've decided to showcase this because the Galadriel actually has 9 level advantage on Grima as well as superior gear. So I thought this report was a great showcase of what Grima can do with a unique build you may not have seen before. Okay, so into Galadriel's build first because I have her open. Like and sub. Here we go. Let me move my face out of the way. It's in the way. My face is in the way. Let's move it. Okay, it's been moved. All right, Galadriel has Carver. We have Mithril Coat. A lot of defense here. We have Wizard's Hat maxed out again. A lot of focus. A lot of damage mitigation. Then we have Harp of Lothlorien with focus, speed, and sustain. Okay. Ability-wise, the R0 top tree is maxed out 29 out of 29. Very, very nice. We have a few points in the R3 tree here. White Council with High Alert. Elemental mitigation there. Then we have Nenya's Guardian. We have Magical Barrier. And we do have Ring of Water. This Magical Barrier is going to give a crazy amount of plus defense because her focus is at 485. It's crazy, okay? Unit-wise, she is running a combination of Cataphracts, Guardians, and Guard of the Tower. The Kraken, shout out to the Kraken, love you long time, Kraken. The Kraken's Grima here is going to be running with slightly less gear, right? Just purple gear instead of 5-star golds. We have 5-star purples. We have Cutlass. We have Superior Hjöbjörk with burn damage and defense. We have Bone Mask with Hysteria, and we have Worn Out Smoking Pipe with Sustain. Now, the point of this Grima is really in the skill and unit composition. Okay, skill-wise, we have a few points in Worm Tongue and Master of Mischief just for the standard madnesses in round 3, 6, and 9. Then we have Second in Command tree, which is going to be some good plus damage. Then we have Anticipation, which is going to help his Reapers dodge the first 4 attacks that they receive. Now, since he's running Swan Knights here with Reapers, the Swan Knights will keep the Reapers alive for the first 3 rounds, or until the Swan Knights are dead. So you won't even get into really using the Anticipation ability, the dodge, until either the Swan Knights die or it's round 4, okay? Which means going into round 3, 4, 5, you will still have 4 chances to avoid damage with your Reapers, making this very strong. Then we have some points in Discipline as the Kraken continues to level up. He'll keep putting points in Discipline for more plus defense. Okay. Then we have Survivor. Ladies and gentlemen, Survivor is the R3 tree. Very, very powerful. This is going to give you minus 30% damage received starting in round 4. Do not discount this. This is insanely strong, especially because you have the taunt for the first 3 rounds from Swan Knights. Then in round 4, you have all the avoidance. So really, you shouldn't take a lot of damage with the Reapers at all. Okay, and lastly, the R5 tree is where this build really starts to shine. Everybody seems to skip the R5 tree. Do not do it. Wizard's Assistant is completely useless. It does give 1 more damage instance, which means that you can, trigger an enemy avoidance or something like that with this, which is somewhat useful but otherwise worthless, okay? Lower defenses. This is amazing. Lower defense gives a 50% chance to reduce enemy or to increase the damage enemies receive by 30%. So strong. You cannot discount this. I'm telling you right now, this is the point of this build, okay? This combined with Reapers, dramatically high damage. Rest of your points will go into Outflank. This will give you more plus damage against ranged. It did not help in this fight. However, against a ranged composition, this is going to be key, okay? So, let's take a look at the combat. All right, into the statistics itself. We'll spend a real quick 2 or 3 minutes going through the report and give you my analysis, after which point you will like, sub, and send me a cat picture, okay? So here we go. The Kraken dealt a total of about 180,000 damage here, considering Galadriel probably gave crazy high defense to her units. This is just from the gear, plus whatever 70 or 80 defense she'll get from Magical Barrier. It'll be crazy, okay? So Grima still put out 180k damage between his commander and his units. Galadriel also put out somewhere around 175k damage here as well. Very similar damage outputs. The difference is Galadriel did a significant amount of self-damage because Grima's army only took 68.5. That means Galadriel dealt a lot of her damage in rounds 3, 6, and 9, afflicted by madness to her own units, which makes sense. So Galadriel does take a pounding from Grima because a lot of her damage from Surge and a lot of her damage from Focus Wrath all trigger in rounds 3, 6, and 9, okay? There are a lot of commanders that have these 3, 6, 9 damage bursts, which is what makes Grima so strong in PvP. It's one of his hallmarks. He is able to madness the commander. Nobody else really can apply madness to the commander in rounds 3, 6, and 9, okay? And counter their burst the way Grima can. All right. Let's take a quick look at rounds 1 and 2, then we'll jump to round 3, and then we'll probably jump to round 6 and move on with our day, okay? Let's take a look at how much plus defense Galadriel gives. Oh my god. Plus 78.1 defense to her units, guys. Guardians at 215, Cataphracts at 175. They're basically taking maximum physical damage mitigation here, okay? For the Guardians. That's crazy. Look at this. Even the Guardians, even with lower defenses triggered, okay, shielding triggered as well, but this is the plus 14% damage received from lower defenses at the end of the day, only took 622 damage. 622 damage from 300 Swan Knights. That's pretty low. Okay. Here's the Reapers hitting the Cataphracts. The Cataphracts have 175 defense. They are taking almost no damage. They have White Council. They really nothing happens to them, okay? Galadriel smiting the Swan Knights. And Galadriel is able to deal some decent damage here with her auto attack as well. So don't discount that because her auto attack deals focus damage. Okay. All right. Here's Grima with his Wizard's Assistant. So the Wizard's Assistant is coming in useful in these first 2 rounds. It is taking off White Council stacks, which is valuable. So 2 Wizard Assistant triggers, 2 White Council stacks down. Okay. The Reaper's hitting the Cataphracts for 1,600 damage here. You're probably wondering when this changes, right? Well, it looks like here the Guard of the Tower stripped the Cataphracts' White Council debuff off. So the buff, sorry. So going into round 3, the Cataphracts will no longer have the 28% mitigation from White Council. Here in round 3, folks, we have Galadriel, the Guard of the Tower, Cataphracts, and the Guardians all afflicted by madness. All 4 of the enemy units on the field. Okay. Grima, no Wizard Assistant here. Okay. Cataphracts, beset by madness, hit their own Guardians for 3k. The Reapers finally get a good damage roll against the enemy Cataphracts. The enemy Cataphracts do not have White Council. The enemy Cataphracts do have lower defenses debuff, so they are taking 58 compared to round 2, right? I'm just comparing to round 2. They had White Council, and they had no trigger of lower defenses. So this is a 58% swing in damage received. They are taking 58% higher damage received than they were taking in round 2. And the Reapers got a better damage roll. Very nice. Oh yeah, Galadriel doing self-damage of about 26,000 damage, folks. Very nice self-damage there. I'll take it. 27.5, call it. And then we have about 9,200 damage on my own Swan Knights from against Kraken Swan Knights. She does kill the Swans in round 3, okay? So here in round 4, you can see the Reapers took their first damage instance here at the end of round 3 from the Guard of the Tower. Their damage was avoided, which means the Reapers for almost 2 full rounds took almost 3 full rounds, took 0 damage instances. They finally took a damage instance at the end of round 3, which they dodged, and now in round 4, they are taking 30% less damage received. So they will never take a full damage blow in this fight, which is beautiful to see, okay? Let me drop down to round 5. I'm just going to show you the Reapers with plus 56 damage from execution. Again, this could be 70 when it's maxed out, so even this is missing some percentages. Hitting for 22,278 on the Cataphracts. The Cataphracts, again, 175 defense, but they are taking 30% plus damage received from lower defenses. Lower defenses is one of the strongest abilities in the game because it applies at the end of the equation, which means it applies against the Cataphracts regardless of the rest of their mitigations. So even though the Cataphracts are reducing all their physical damage by like maximum, probably close to 90% mitigation on physical damage, when Grima is able to take 30% of that off, now they're down to only 60% damage mitigation from their defense. Okay, so very, very strong. Lower defense is one of the strongest abilities in the game because, like I said, it applies at the end of the equation. If it was giving the Reapers plus 30% damage, guess what? You would only be seeing 10% of that in the field because you would be reducing that bonus by 90% just by way of the defense. So because lower defense is a debuff at the end of the equation, it makes it so strong. Okay? That's what I'm trying to say. It's not a plus 30% damage to the Reapers. It's at the end of the equation, after the Cataphracts, all their other damage mitigations come into play. You've now increased their damage by 30%. Okay? Round 6, we have all of the madness triggering again. Okay, here in round 6, the Reaper's still hitting for 21k on the Cataphracts with lower defenses. Again, dodging. They're still dodging. Okay, so they have dodged all. They didn't even take any damage. They took no damage until round 6. Can you guys think about that for a second? The Reapers took no damage until round 6. Oh, they took a little bit of damage in round 5. But basically, almost no damage until round 6. It's crazy. So they dodged 3 of their first 4 damage hits. Focus Wrath, some self-damage here. Some healing the enemy. I like to see that. So that's the fight. I don't need to really go through a whole lot more. You guys get the picture. Grima, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to the Kraken. Love you long time, Kraken. Like and sub, folks. Randy, out.